Okay, yeah, sure. So,
Just tell me when we're good. Good?
good. Okay, yeah, redo that. Oh,
Okay.
man.
So, let's start over. So, Tristan, can you tell us a little bit generally about what you do at the library?
Gotcha. So, as I was saying before, I am an audio, video, and event planning specialist at the Cleveland Public Library, which means that any kind of events that require any kind of audio or video technology, I'm pretty much going to be involved with, whether it comes down to laptops, Blu-ray players, game systems, microphone speakers, podiums. I'm pretty much doing all of that throughout the city of Cleveland. The Cleveland Public Library has almost 30 locations throughout the city, so that's pretty much what I do.
So you drive around town, you provide all the tech stuff, you're the tech guy.
Yeah, and I actually am there, set it up, kind of troubleshoot, make sure everything's
So
going
you literally
well.
are the tech guy.
Yeah, it's pretty cool though. Like really, it's a really cool job.
Okay,
Yeah.
no, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So the first question I have for you is, what was the process like trying to get the Cleveland Public Library to commit to something like esports?
Oh, yeah, it was interesting. So, again, with the nature of my job being this kind of equipment and everything, video games literally lives in that world. So, I was thinking during this one time in which the library, actually every year the library does something called the Innovation Grant. And what that means is they basically open this platform within the library to all staff members and say, hey, do you have any ideas for something new and innovative and something interesting that's never been done before in libraries? And so we have all sorts of ideas from all kinds of staff members. We have so many like talented people that work at the library, so they come up with great ideas. And so I kind of had this idea like, hey, it would be cool if we could do gaming on a larger scale. It would be cool if we did some esports related stuff. And so at first I was thinking, nah, they wouldn't go for that. Then I was like, maybe I should just mention it. So in passing, I saw one of my coworkers who was actually one of the people that's kind of involved with that. And so I said, hey, I have this idea. I just want to share it with you. May not be the greatest idea, but I think the library should do something in relation to esports. And I kind of explained what that was, and all their eyes just like lit up. They're like, "That's a great idea."
And here you thought everyone was just gonna brush you off.
Yeah, I totally thought it was gonna be like a bad idea. I didn't know how they would receive it, and so, yeah, they liked it, and so they said, "Yeah, let's take that and we'll push it forward." And so how it works is, people who have these ideas, it's presented to all staff, and we have like 600 something people that work in the library system total. So everybody throughout the city of Cleveland that works for the library had to vote for what they thought would be a good idea. And so I actually happened to get a lot of votes for it, and so people supported it. And so then I won that innovation grant, and so then we moved forward with that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
You took an idea that you didn't think anybody would like, you presented it in passing, and they convinced you to put it out there, and
Yeah.
you actually won the grant. Like,
Yeah.
that's, if you would have never
Yeah, I
thought
know.
to bring that up, I mean, you wouldn't be doing what you do now.
Yeah, it may not have ever come to be. Who knows?
Oh,
At least-
that's amazing.
Who knows? Yeah. So,
you took
yeah.
a shot in the dark, and you succeeded.
And it worked out, yeah. And so, the coolest part about that is that this is now grown into something that, you pay taxes, I pay taxes, and so our tax dollars are now funding this publicly, funded thing. Yeah, it's free for everybody.
I
You
will
can just
happily
go.
pay taxes to see video games at the library.
Yeah, more video games in the library, the more we pay our taxes, right? So it's really cool. Like, it worked out, and it's growing like crazy, actually.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So the next question I have, which plays into that, is what are you hoping to see from this? How big do you expect this to get in the city of Cleveland with the library diving into esports?
Yeah, so, that goes into the subject of esports as a whole and the city of Cleveland as a whole. And, esports is growing here in the city of Cleveland, as we all know, which is great. And, we have people like you at Outer Haven, and we have lots of groups in the city of Cleveland that are kind of popping up and doing esports related programming. But what's even more important is we have large companies like or not companies, but organizations such as the Cleveland Cavaliers who are funding, esports on a really large scale. So it's nice that there's a public and free element to esports, even though what we're doing at the library may not be your traditional idea of esports, which is usually like kind of driven by like the money that can be made from it and things like that. The library being a nonprofit, that interest is just not there. It's just like, hey, we just want to provide this for people. So for those of you out there who play PC games or play console games and see the prices of these things, it's expensive.
Oh, yeah. Building a PC can be thousands of dollars.
Especially right now in this current market where GPUs are very expensive.
Thanks, Bitcoin.
They're very expensive. So, the library, excuse me, I'm getting over a cold, was able to provide these PCs to the general public for free. You can just come in and you can use a very high-end PC and you don't have to pay for it. And you can play Overwatch, and you can play League of Legends, you can play Street Fighter 5 if you want. If you have your Steam account, you just come in, log in, and just play.
And that's phenomenal, especially because, Cleveland isn't, the city of Cleveland isn't that very high of income. So you have a lot of low income, kids coming in, and they may not ever get to experience something on a high-end gaming PC, which is phenomenal. I know when I was growing up, I couldn't, for sure.
That was a pipe dream.
It was a pipe dream, You put it together and online, and you see that's like $2,000, and you're like, one day.
And you know what? In addition to that, because every time I kind of talk about this, there's two elements there. You have people who may not be able to afford it, and then you have other people who just don't want to afford it. Like, that money is better spent on other things. So this is good for all people, whether you just kind of want to test it out and see like, hey, is this really as cool as I think it is? Come in and, you got your cameras and your microphones. You could try streaming on Twitch. You could do a whole bunch of different stuff at the library for free. And it's kind of like a try before you buy thing almost.
Absolutely. Yeah. And then you're not hooked on phonics, you're hooked on graphics after that.
Yeah.
Believe me.
Yeah. Oh, man, yeah. That's the catch though. We're not going to tell people that, you're going to get used to the highest end. So then it's going to... You just tear their dreams as soon as they get home. Like, oh man, I guess I gotta go back. But in addition to that, when it came to purchasing the consoles, I also thought, hey, if we're gonna buy these consoles, let's get the best we can get. So we got the PS4 Pros instead of the regular ones, and so just so that people can play these things the way they were meant to be played, so to speak. So.
Totally understandable, because you have to, if you're gonna do anything, do it to the best of your ability.
Why not?
Right?
Yeah.
So, what else do you do at the library besides esports events? Like, what are other programs that, people might be interested in that you're a part of?
Yeah, so we have a lot of different things going on at the library all the time. And first, let me just say that a lot of people have this idea that libraries are a quiet place where you just go and get a book and sit down and read. That's changing. That's very much changing. First of all, libraries are inherently changing because of the internet. People don't necessarily go to the library for a lot of things these days because you can just Google a lot.
Well, but even when I was in about, I'd say middle school is when the trend started to flip. Yeah. You went to the library for the computers.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But then that's kind of our saving grace in a way. On one hand, some people could look at the computer as the one thing that was kind of like hurting the library, but then there's another way of looking at that. It's like, no, that's helping us get information to people. So with that said, we have all kinds of different programming that goes on in the library, from having a guest author come in and talk about their book, to esports at CPL, to youth reading clubs and things like that. There's all sorts of things across the spectrum for pretty much everybody. And the department that I work in, which is Outreach and Programming Services, we pretty much see all of the different programs that are going on. And I'm fortunate enough to work with the team, and our fearless leader, he really likes to do things that are a little bit different, it's actually going to be interesting, because we don't want people to feel like the library is a boring place or it's a quiet place. As you've seen when you come to Esports at CPL, it's definitely
very lively.
It's definitely not quiet, and it's definitely not boring. So, we're all about kind of creating experiences at the library so that people come in and they say, hey, this is really awesome. I want to come back,
Absolutely. I think the last time that we were there for the last Esports at CPL, we went down in the main auditorium and there was a jazz band playing.
Yeah.
Because there was an author there who just launched a new book, and they were phenomenal. But
Yeah.
the first thing you heard when you walked into a library was not silence.
Yeah.
It was a live jazz band playing.
Yeah.
So this is kind of where the library is, I'm sure they still have their quiet places for you to read and all that good stuff, but the library is becoming a little bit more mainstream with how you guys are
Definitely
flipping the script and doing more things than just reading, especially since the technology has grown so vastly and has
and
pretty
so
much
swiftly, so fast.
Very
things
fast.
are changing all the time. And with that said, also, we try to kind of build programming around the needs of the people, not just like what we think people want. Like we really try to gauge like what is necessary, and so we have youth empowerment programs. My coworker, she developed these two programs called Man Up Cleveland and Girl Power, and so like they're youth empowerment programs in which we talk about all sorts of stuff. So really the library is becoming a place where you can just kind of come in and you can benefit in so many ways. You can be entertained, you can learn, so it's really cool. I should have worn my hoodie that said the People's University, but I had to represent Cleveland today. So
that's absolutely wonderful, and it's a great thing to see the libraries, instead of falling off and becoming into nothing, and really
museum.
a museum, to where there are things that you don't use anymore. They're adapting, and that's very awesome to see them adapting rather than failing.
Yeah.
So I know that, Outer Haven's been there, SFXX Play's been there, shout out to you guys, and Urban Otaku as well.
Yeah, Urban
and if
Otaku,
you guys don't know, Urban Otaku is pretty awesome. They do a full spectrum of things, from anime panels to, just different competitions. So when you have, organizations like us coming through and providing more and more events tailored to esports and anime, do you see the library maybe doing some reconstruction to kind of benefit more towards esports and anime convention-esque type events? And do you see them maybe restructuring the hours to stay open later?
No.
How do you see this kind of playing out, since you seem to have a lot more events there that are dealing with other things?
So with that said, there's a couple things that I should kind of like point out. First of all, we did recently have renovation in the library, in which the second floor, the Lewis Stokes wing, which is where the Esports at CPL events are taking place, as well as Outer Haven's events, which, by the way, there's one this Saturday at the Cleveland Public Library. Going to be playing Overwatch. Yeah. But that entire floor was renovated so that we can do more programming. So that was a really big thing for us, because we took out on that floor all of the books. That floor used to be filled with books. It was a business department.
Okay.
We actually gutted it out, kind of formatted it, so to speak, with now 5 different meeting rooms. We had the projector in the ceiling and everything, and so this was necessary because the library was changing so much. Now, that doesn't mean that the changes are over. The changes are still happening all the time. We're still evolving. We're still adding more and giving more to the people of the city of Cleveland, of course. As for, hours in which the library stays open and stuff, that conversation has been had. I'm not really a part of that because that's not my job.
But a little up there.
But at the same time, we have more people than ever, I believe, in Cleveland history that live downtown. So because it's become a neighborhood, that conversation is increasingly important, because you have more people who live downtown and they do want that resource to be available to them more hours.
Because they work the same hours that you're open.
Yeah.
So by the time they get off, you're closing, and
and you have young adults who are starting families that live downtown, and there's all sorts of things. But at the end of the day, the library is connected to local governments. So therefore, we do basically what the people want us to do. So if people vote
Hint, hint.
for
Nudge,
more
nudge.
things, or if they speak out like, hey, we want more gaming, we want more events like this, it's possible that the library would do those things. But again, I'm not in a position to make those changes, but
Understandable.
as a citizen and as a Clevelander, I am also on this side of Clevelander, so I can say that I do understand it. That's how it works, you know. As the more that people speak up, the more things will change.
Oh,
So,
absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. How you doing in the chat?
Yeah, you got lots of people or no?
Let's see. We got 10.
Okay, cool.
Hi.
Yeah. Pardon me, folks. I know I'm coughing a little bit. I'm getting over a cold here, so yeah.
So, as far as tournaments go, you seem to have a lot more going on at the library.
Yeah.
Have you ever entered in a tournament?
Have I ever entered into a tournament? Yes, definitely. I've been in many tournaments, actually. I'm not going to say I'm, like, at the level of, you know, pro gamer, but I've played in tournaments for years, actually. Different conventions that I've gone to. One of my first tournament experiences was in Capcom versus SNK 2 years and years ago. Maybe this was like 2001 or something, and I was in Columbus, and it was really, really fun. I just remember that I got the victory with the finest KO. I was using one of my favorite characters, Joe Higashi, you know.
So you won the whole thing.
Fans, you know. Yeah, so, no, I didn't win the whole thing, but I won a match that was really hyped up.
Okay.
The crowd was like roaring and stuff. And, you know, I took him out in a fancy kind of way. I taunted and then I did a super and beat him. So, yeah,
and that
it was
feels
really
good.
cool. Yeah, so it was cool. It was cool.
No,
Yeah.
that's awesome. And one thing I try to explain to people about, you know, the tournaments, and they'll say, "Oh, I'm not good enough to enter," and I always tell them tournaments are an experience. More
Yeah.
so than anything. Even if you aren't at that caliber that you might not think that you are,
Yeah.
you go into a tournament and it's a whole different feel.
Yeah.
Your
No, you're
name
right.
gets called, your heart starts racing. You
Yeah.
sit down, you put that controller in your hand.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's you know you it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to not be at that same caliber. It's
That's
to
true.
go there and experience the feeling of being in a tournament and having
Yeah.
fun and enjoying yourself.
It is about that experience, and that's for sure. And you know, there's so much development that can happen in that too. You can make a lot of friends, you know, which is big. Obviously, making friends is a good thing. And so,
Absolutely.
you know, I had that same experience. You know, with my first tournament, you know, a lot of people I didn't know, and I know now. Like, shout outs to the Columbus crew too, and all of you guys. You know, I met all of them at some of my first tournament experiences. So it was really fun. It was really fun.
No, absolutely. Just even TOing, I've met
Yeah.
so many great people, and
Yeah.
I've become Facebook friends with a lot of them. And you
That's
really do.
awesome.
It's such a great community, and I love video games for that. It brings people together. It truly does.
Yeah, it really, really does. More than people realize, I think, in some cases. But that's another thing that has become very apparent at the Cleveland Public Library since we've had these events. You know, they have realized, like, hey, this is a demographic of people that they're showing up in large numbers frequently. And
Yes.
so that speaks, like, volumes. So, yeah, you're right. Totally.
So time to have some fun questions here.
Okay.
If you could swap lives with any esports pro player, who would it be?
Oh, wow. Any esports pro player. Swap lives?
Swap lives, or even if you could just
Does that include
steal their ability to play games.
Does that include the money they have? No, I was kidding.
Well, yeah, it would.
No.
Yes.
Honestly, I can't say that I would like to swap lives with any pro player,
Well,
but
then
I
we'll go
really
with
wish that I
if
could.
you could steal the skills from a pro player, who would it be?
You know, I gotta. The first name that comes to mind is my dude Gamer B. I was always a big fan of him, although I haven't seen him much in the fighting game scene lately. I think he's just got some real life stuff going on. I don't know if it's family or what, but you know, really liked Gamer B a lot.
Okay.
Really cool dude. I liked watching him on stream. He always seemed like a positive type of person, just from appearance. You know, I don't know him. I never really got to meet him. But I don't know. That one comes to mind first.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll accept that one. That's
Yeah.
good. That's a good answer.
Gamer B, I really got to know him when he was playing Street Fighter 4. So, you know, I was really into that game. So that's where I learned a lot about him.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha. Some history behind that.
Yeah.
So besides video games, what other hobbies do you have?
Oh man, a lot. There's so many. I'm really into a lot of different stuff. So, generally speaking, I'm really into the outdoors. I like being outdoors a lot. That includes fishing and cycling and camping. Those are the three things that come to mind. I really like all of those a lot. So, I was just having this conversation a couple days with somebody, and I was telling them as I was growing up in the summertime, I would stay out like all day. Like I would get up, eat breakfast, and pretty much get dressed, run outside, and just be outside all day until it was time to come back in. Street lights coming on and everything.
Yeah.
And so I'm very into outdoors type of stuff, but living in Cleveland, where we have 6 months of winter, you know, you have to get accustomed to being indoors too. So I feel like I grew up in having a lifestyle where, you know, I did spend a lot of time outdoors when I could, but also spent a lot of time indoors because I had to, you know. And so because of that, I feel like that's kind of where the dynamic of my loving of video games and computers and everything. Yeah, you had to do that in the wintertime. You can't go outside every day in the winter, although I tried. But you know, it's just too cold sometimes. So yeah, you know, I had this like interesting balance growing up where it was just like I really liked gaming and being indoors, but I also really liked being outdoors a lot too. So for those who kind of know me, you know, I'm always on my bike doing like some Instagram live or something like
I've seen
that.
them.
Yeah. So I really like cycling a lot, and I really love camping. Like I really love to camp so much.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
so.
Never knew that.
Yeah.
I knew about the cycling. I've seen the cycling.
Yeah.
Camping, fishing.
Well, see, the thing is, you can't go live when you're camping because there's no reception. if you're camping correctly.
Well, yeah, you can't. You can't camp out, you know, in a hotel.
Yeah, you know.
That doesn't count.
Although I've been to a campground that has Wi-Fi. It's very fascinating, actually. But anyway, yeah.
Today's youths, I swear.
That's funny.
So, so the next question I have is pretty fun.
Mm-hmm.
Who are your top 3 villains? Because you're such a good guy. I have to make you think about some bad stuff right now.
Okay, so number 1, and everyone who knows me already knows what I'm about to say. Thanos is like the best villain ever introduced, because not only is he strong and powerful, he's very, very smart. He's super duper smart. So it's like, how do you fight against that? He's got brains, brawn, and just
he's
like
the whole
crazy
package
abilities.
deal.
Yeah, and you know, he's the best villain ever. And yeah, he's crazy. So that's why I'm looking forward to Avengers. But so
me too.
Yeah, so even though they're not ready to fight him at all, after him,
they're gonna try.
Yeah, they could try and fail miserably. I'm trying to think who else is another good villain. I think I liked Kefka a lot from Final Fantasy VI. Because I don't know, like I guess it's interesting when you have these characters that they're just so far outside of the box and they really don't care about anything. They're just like, yeah, I just want to do this thing to accomplish
evil?
it. Well, it's not. Well, yeah, unfortunately, Kefka is psychotic, but it's interesting that they are driven by something else completely. And I don't know why that's fascinating to me, but yeah, Kefka was another one, and 3? Oh man,
Give me one more. Give me one more.
So I really liked Zex from Gundam Wing. He was kind of the villain at first, but he wound up turning good. But even when he turned good, he was still kind of like on his own thing. He was all about justice, and well, kind of he had his own idea of peace, I guess. It was just very interesting. But he was a really awesome villain because he took down the main character in the first episode of that anime. With like, okay, so those who watch Gundam, or if you don't watch Gundams are really strong machines. They're made of alloy that's stronger than everything else. And then you have mobile suits, which are basically like the generic version of those things that are made out of like tinfoil. Well, not really, but but they're like really weak. And so this guy in the very first episode was using a mobile suit that couldn't fly, barely had like weaponry or anything, and he took down a Gundam in the first episode. I was like, that dude's awesome.
So he's a boss. He's an evil boss.
Like, yeah, he's
amazing.
Yeah. So I mean, he wasn't really evil. Again, he kind of had his own idea about some things, and so.
But he came off as the bad guy.
Yeah, he was totally the bad guy up until like the very end of the series, and then even still, he's just kind of like told the good guys, like, you know what, step aside. I'll take care of this. Go do your thing. And so it was very interesting just seeing that. So, yeah, that I would say that was in my top 3 villains.
All right, awesome. Very good list. Very good list. If you could choose any anime world to be stuck in, which anime world would it be? Now, mind you, you'd probably have main character status because, it's you,
Anime world to be stuck in.
Mm-hmm. Some Sword Art Online stuff here.
Kurt, I wish you were here to kind of help me jog my memory about anime right now. Let me see. Anime world to be stuck in. To be honest with you, so many anime worlds are so horrible and terrible, and they're always on the brink of destruction that I don't know if I really want to be in any of them, to be honest with you.
There's always some sort of Armageddon going on.
Yeah, it's like really crazy. But maybe I'll go with, I don't know, Zone of the Enders. At least they got other planets they can go to. You can destroy Earth. I'll just go to Mars.
What was that called again?
Zone of the Enders.
Zone of the Enders. I've never seen that anime.
It was first a game, and then they did like an anime movie, an anime series, and I think they did some other stuff too. But it was really cool. I really liked it a lot. And it's just cool because they traversed like our solar system, so it wasn't all on Earth. They could go to Mars and one of the moons of Jupiter or something. It was crazy.
Okay,
yeah, it was
so you
really
want to be able to travel the...
Yeah, I just want to be able to get away from the craziness sometimes. Yeah, travel around the solar system and get away from the craziness. You want to blow up Earth? Okay, I'm out of here. It goes somewhere else.
Okay. No, that's awesome. That's a great choice.
Yeah.
Because you're not in an anime where it's post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, like
there's not,
like
people...
I definitely would not want to be like in Tokyo Ghoul or something like that.
I think I would be.
Oh no, that sounds absolutely terrifying. And then what's a big anime right now? My Hero Academia.
That one, for sure. I would love to be in My Hero.
Okay, so what if you don't have a quirk though? Or what if your quirk is terrible?
But I'm main character. Remember.
But
I'm going to become the greatest hero.
Okay, all right. Well, you know what? I don't know. See, that's too much pressure. Sometimes I just want to cool out. Just sit down and just relax. I don't know.
If you're main character status, I have to go with the superpowers.
This is true. But you mentioned Sword Art Online, which made me think of Dot Hack Sign, or Dot Hack the whole world, which is basically the first.
I've seen that one either, but I think I know kind of the premise of that anime.
Yeah, I think it was the first anime in which everyone existed in this online world. So it was interesting, but there were some bad things about that one too. You try to log out the game, you die. So I was just like, that kind of sucks too.
Well, you wouldn't, because your main character status.
Well, actually, the main character was stuck in the game, could not log out. So. Yeah, so that was crazy. So, yeah.
All right, you got me.
Yeah, I need to expand my my anime knowledge too. So Joel and Kurt and all the folks with Urban Otaku, you guys got to help me out.
Yeah,
so.
get this man in some good animes here. One that he'd want to be stuck in.
Yeah, yeah, it just still sounds like a bad idea.
In my mind, it sounded fine. So, for my last question here, what were the 3 most recent games you've been playing?
3 most recent. If I had to be honest about the last 3 games that I remember starting up and playing for any period of time, it would be Street Fighter V, Tekken 7, and League of Legends.
Awesome. Yeah. Those 3 very good games. League of Legends I've also been playing.
Yeah.
Street Fighter, I've got 7 hours, but I don't play it tournaments.
Well, see, I had to boot up Street Fighter V because Blanca's in it now, who is one of my mains, and I know everybody hates Blanca, but I don't understand why. He's a great character. He's hilarious. He works, and he's hilarious.
He's hilarious. He works, and he's hilarious. Yeah, don't forget, he's hilarious.
Great character. And
one of the best skins in the game.
Actually, it's so funny because I don't have that skin for that character. So I was playing Joel the other day, and he's just like, this is the first time I've seen what the character actually looks like. And I was just like, are you serious? He's like, yeah, everybody plays with that skin. So
have to.
I didn't know that. So then when I was playing Tekken 7, I wanted to try out Noctis from Final Fantasy 15, which he was really cool. Kind of makes me want to go and try that game out, but I haven't played a Final Fantasy in a really long time. So is it worth playing, folks?
Yes.
Let me know. Like, is that a game worth investing in?
The
on
graphics.
PC? Graphics are good?
Are beautiful.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
Absolutely.
That's
absolutely.
Good. Huh.
It's
okay.
and the gameplay is really good. I was watching Kevin play it. I started up my own account as well. So when I have time to play it, but I just because we have that 1440p monitor, it's
nice.
You sit back in the chair and you're just in awe. And the fight scenes are beautiful. It's well worth it.
I haven't even seen what the battle system for that game looks like.
It's actually pretty cool.
I really need to check that out.
Yeah. It's pretty fun.
Okay.
All right. Well, since you actually played Street Fighter recently, so at the end of the segment, I like to play a little game with my guests. It's usually tailored specifically to the guest that I have. And since you work at a library, I had to throw a spelling bee in here, right?
Oh, my gosh.
And I had to make it the hardest Street Fighter spelling bee I can think of. So.
Okay. All right. Street Fighter spelling bee. Okay.
So for this segment, I'm going to have him listen to the word through these headphones.
Okay.
So he is not only going to try and spell it, I want him to give me the English meaning to it as well.
Okay.
So we're going to toss the word up on the screen.
Okay.
So don't look at the screen. Don't cheat.
Okay.
So, so Jeremy, when we're ready, go ahead and play the first one.
And they're going to hear this too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the viewers will also be able to hear this.
Hadouken! Oh, that's easy.
Well, it starts off easy,
okay.
Yes.
All right. So that's Hadouken.
Okay.
That's the signature move of so many characters. You want me to spell it first?
So I want you to spell it first.
Oh, might be a trick question because that's spelled two different ways. Okay, so Hadouken.
I'll accept that one if it's a second version of it.
Well, I think it should be spelled Hadouken.
Which is how it is online.
Yeah,
so, all right, so ding, ding, ding on that one. Yeah, like I said, it starts off easy.
All right.
Now, what is the English translation of that? That's the hard part.
Okay, so technically, I guess it's like wave fist or wave motion fist. Yeah.
Hey, wave motion fist is correct.
Yeah.
It was either that or surge fist.
Surge fist. Oh, okay, I can see that. Yeah, okay.
Okay, so go ahead with the second word.
The second one, okay. Nothing yet. I love the fact that he's using the sound effects from Street Fighter 2, like when they're like really bad quality.
The one that it's from. This was awesome.
Oh yeah, that was the intro music from Super Street Fighter 2. So that's Shoryuken, which is Shoryuken.
Ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
And what is the English translation of it?
Shoryuken. It's something like Dragon Fist, but I don't know what Sho actually translates to. So maybe Rising Dragon Fist?
Are you a Japanese study, by the way?
Yeah, actually, I studied Japanese. I studied Japanese for like 6 years or so. So yeah, but the thing is,
you got me good.
But it doesn't help when you just hear it if you don't know the characters.
Oh yeah,
so,
I bet it's still pretty hard.
Yeah.
So you had it right. It's Rising Dragon Fist.
Oh, it's Rising. It is Rising.
Rising Dragon Fist. So good job.
Okay. That's also memory because I read the instruction manual for Street Fighter 2 and they had all the translations.
Ah, okay, okay. So we'll go ahead and cue up the last one.
Okay.
Let me know when you hear it.
Yeah. Okay, so again, these are the Street Fighter 2 sound effects. So if I, didn't know what this was, there's no way you could listen to that and know what the heck he's saying. So that's Tatsumaki Senpu Kyaku.
Yeah.
And that's spelled Tatsu Maki SEMPU. Or it could be two U's there. And then Kyaku Kyaku. Or is it senpu? Because it could be either. And I'm going to tell you why it could be either. In my defense. So the letter for N and M can be the same in Japanese. So it could be either.
Well, how is that fair? And it is. It's S-E-N.
Okay.
It is S-E-N. So you did actually spell it correct. Holy moly. This guy's pretty good. So, and what does that translate to in English?
Tatsumaki is tornado. Senpu kyaku, I think, is like, if I remember correctly, gale kick. So I think it's like tornado gale kick or something like that.
So it translates to hurricane kick. So
Okay.
you're pretty much right.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty much right. So I wanted to do one more, but we could not find the sound clip, and I realized it's because I don't think she actually says the word when she performs.
Okay.
So it is Chun-Li's lightning kick.
Oh.
So, because this will also be really funny. I don't know, Jeremy, can you put the word up on the screen? Because I'm going to have him pronounce this, and it's
Okay.
going to be funny.
Wait. First, let me see if I can guess what that word is.
Okay, yes.
It's the lightning kick, right?
Lightning kick.
I think it's hyaku uretsuken. Is it hyaku something? I don't know. It's something like that. I can't remember exactly what it is. But,
It's okay.
Okay.
It's all
anyway.
right. So here is the word.
Okay.
So you had the beginning right. You had it right.
I was thinking that it might have ended with that.
So
okay.
in your best Chun-Li voice, tell it to us straight. Just give it to us.
I can't do it in her voice because my voice doesn't go that high. But that's hyaku retsukaku.
That was really good.
Hyaku retsukaku. So what that means technically is like 100. Retsu is like, it has something to do with like violence.
Very violent kicking.
Yeah, so it's like 100 something kicks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, round of applause to this guy because I thought I was going to have a fun time seeing him struggle.
Yeah.
And I didn't. I'm amazed. I did not know that you studied Japanese, and I've been had.
So I was really afraid that you were going to ask me like Zengi stuff because it's all in Russian and I know none of it.
That was my chance, and I blew it. Oh.
No, that's okay. That's funny. Actually, I'm more so embarrassed that I even remembered all of that. So
No, that's awesome. That was actually really good.
cool.
All right,
Wow.
so
A Japanese spelling bee. That's different.
that I thought it was going to be harder than that. But I guess.
Yo, represent. Yay.
Yeah, right. You totally kicked ass and you blew it away. That was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm not even mad. I'm amazed.
That worked out. Okay.
So
cool.
for this portion of the segment, we are opening Q&A sessions. So for anybody who has a question, please submit those now into the comment section.
Oh boy.
And for right now, I would actually like to say, hey, we are having a couple things coming up with Outer Haven.
Okay.
If you guys don't know, now you know. Ground Zero on April 28th. Here's the ad for it. We have some huge names coming up. We got Echo Fox's Punk. We've got Rob TV. We've got Wolf Chrome. We got Miss Palushina.
Okay.
And we have Alucard. And we have a lot of big names. That's just to
Awesome.
name a couple. And
That's
this is going to be a very stacked bracket.
Okay.
So we are selling spectator passes if you guys want to see the action live.
Awesome.
Definitely come out, support the scene here at the One Life to Play Gaming Lounge.
Okay.
It is going to be epic.
Awesome.
Or if you can't make it in, definitely follow us on this stream. It'll all be streamed here. We're going to try to run 2 streams so you can catch more of the action.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's awesome.
And for you League of Legends fans out there, which I know Tristan is as well,
Yeah.
we will be at the Microsoft Store on May 12th. There is an event page made on our Facebook page. So May 12th, we'll be at the Microsoft Store in the Beechwood Palace Mall.
Okay.
And first place prize is actually pretty epic. Each member gets a $20 gift card to Microsoft. There's 1,500 RP plus the championship Rise skin.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
4 places get prizes. There are free agent forms on the event page as well. So even if you don't have a whole squad, you just got one or a couple, fill out a free agent form with your names on there.
And that's
There's a couple
on
of May 12th.
Okay.
Saturday, May 12th.
Okay.
Please, please, please come make it out. I do have to put the bracket together. It is single elimination, but we'll be there kind of hanging out, so it won't be just a one and done. You can come hang out with us, watch the other matches go on, and just have fun.
I think I'm going to go to that, so if anybody wants to play some
If anybody
League,
wants to be on his
I'm
team.
down. Yeah. I'm a jungler main, so yeah, if you play ADC, yeah, we could do something.
Absolutely. So let me filter through some of these questions.
Oh, we actually have some people talking in here, huh?
Oh, yeah. Team viewers. So what we got here? Which fighting game do you feel doesn't get enough love and why?
Oh man.
And this
right
is
now,
from Estrella.
so right now, honestly, I think that the game that does not get enough love is Killer Instinct. The reason behind that, I honestly think that it's, I hate to say this, I just think that it's not quite on the right platform because most of the people who play fighting games play them on PS4.
It's tournament standard.
Yeah, and so if Killer Instinct was on PS4, which is not impossible because Microsoft has put games on rival companies' hardware. You know, Microsoft put games on the Nintendo DS. They put games, I believe, even as far back as the Nintendo 64. So they could easily, if they really wanted to, put Killer Instinct on PS4 and give it another shot at life. But who knows? So that's the game that I would say for sure right now is not getting enough love. I mean, there's a lot of games you could mention. A lot of the Air Dashers out there like Blaze Blue and Guilty Gear and Uniel. Like, you could mention all of those, but I honestly feel like Killer Instinct definitely tops that list, in my opinion.
Okay. So the next question we have is from Polishina, and she would like to know, what do you think of the new characters in Street Fighter V?
Oh, wow. Okay, so help me out, stream.
So,
I don't know exactly how many new characters there are.
Well,
I do know a lot of them.
There's the Sakura.
Mm-hmm.
There's
Wait.
your favorite.
Oh, Blanca. Yeah,
Blanca.
Blanca's the best. But I wonder if she's talking about the brand new characters that have never been in a Street Fighter or the Season 3 characters. That's what I'm kind of wondering. Because if it's brand new characters that have never been in another Street Fighter, there's a lot of interesting designs, I think, that they put into this game. Like, I thought Ed, that was interesting.
Okay.
Laura was fascinating, you know. It was nice to see representation from Brazil. Especially, I think that's Sean's sister, which is really cool. Trying to think of some other new characters. But to go back to Season 3, though, I did like Sakura. I've always liked her a lot, like, ever since she was introduced in Street Fighter Alpha 2. But she's a little bit different. I haven't had a whole lot of playtime with her, but a little bit different. I do like the character a lot.
Okay.
But Blanca, that's the reason why I bought Season 3.
Okay.
Like, I had Blanca. Like, that was the character I wanted. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I think she meant pretty much the newest ones that are going to be coming out. So it's going to be the Sakura, the Blanca, the Cody.
I'm so curious to see Sagat. Cody's going to be interesting too, but Sagat, I really want to see how they have changed him, because they managed to change a lot of the old World Warrior characters enough that made him feel different in this game. So I'm so curious to know what they're going to do with Sagat. Yeah, Cody, he looks boss, like, you know, he's wearing the suit now and everything. So I'm just like, yeah, that's cool, you know. I'm so glad that he finally got out of jail clothes. I was just like, come on, bro. Like,
he really cleaned up. He went from in jail to representing the guy about to go to jail. Okay, like he cleaned up real nice.
This is like his best outfit ever, because, you know, in Final Fight he just wore like jeans and a t-shirt. Then he had a jail suit for like 10 years, and so now it's like,
he almost comes off as 1950s gangster.
Yeah, right. So now he's got the suit. So, you know, we'll have to wait and see what's gonna happen with that.
So, Zafira Cat,
Mm-hmm.
which fighting game immersed you into the fighting game world?
That's an interesting question. So I started playing fighting games really in the 16-bit era. So without question, Street Fighter 2 had the biggest impact on me, as it did for the entire fighting game scene. Mm-hmm. Everything is pretty much, its roots are Street Fighter 2, you know, pretty much everything came from there. and I played a lot of Street Fighter 2. But I also was fortunate enough to play in the arcade. So I got to play some Samurai Showdown. I got to play World Heroes. So I got to play some older fighting games that were not quite as good as Street Fighter, but still good games.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. But definitely Street Fighter. Street Fighter, without question, was number one.
It's the iconic fighting game. For sure. Definitely.
Yeah.
So, let's see. Tristan, it's Hamza. My question is, how did you get onto this show? Good stuff. Glad you asked.
Okay.
Well.
Hamza. Yeah. Well, oh man, it's a long story, I guess.
I asked him.
Yeah, she asked me, but I guess you could say it was just like, I got to meet Cella and Kevin in Outer Haven by doing the esports thing. So, it all goes back to, that moment where I was like, is this a good idea? I presented the innovation grant. That worked. We did the esports. You guys showed up. We interviewed you. You interviewed me. So,
esports.
So it's all about esports. Gaming. Gaming is what connects us.
Yes. So we got connected through esports. I'm a local TO. If you don't know who Outer Haven is, my name is Cella.
Yeah.
And Big Boss, who is also in the chat with you, he's Kevin. We are the owners of Outer Haven, and we run esports tournaments here in Ohio. And we met Tristan through the same like of esports, and that's how we became good friends. And I asked him to be on the show because I would love to meet more community members that are out there trying to do the same things that we are, or just have huge impacts on the community, whether it's being a player or a TO or somebody who works in the industry.
That's cool. Assalamu alaikum. What's up,
So Chris would like to know, when's Marvel?
When's Marvel? It could be tonight. You trying to play? Not Infinite, though. I don't have that. Sorry. I can play Ultimate, but not Infinite.
Let's see here.
It's a lot of questions. I'm glad to see that people showed up.
On your team. So would you like to play Capcom versus SNK2 if it was ported to the PS4?
Oh, man. Yes. No question. Definitely. However, I don't have a PS4 right now. I'm still debating on getting one. If that game came to PS4 and it was not a simple like re-release, like if they actually touched it up, I would buy a PS4 for that game. Not even a question.
Hands down, just
I'd
up
be
and
like,
take my money.
I'm buying a PS4. Yeah, for sure. That's one of my favorite fighting games of all time. Like, I loved that game so much. There were so many great things about Capcom versus SNK2. It was such an awesome game.
And New York's Finest would like to know, favorite Capcom waifu?
Okay, wait. Let me think.
That's a good question.
For the longest time, it was Chun-Li. But
Chun Buns, as Miss Sheena calls her.
I'm a real big fan of Minot. Minot is really
15.
awesome. She's really awesome. Like,
honestly, The Walk. She's my waifu too. You can't even help it. That sassafras walk.
So awesome. Like, yeah, she's such a cool character, and there's a lot of things about that character I really like though. Like the fact that she was connected to Rose. Like, I'm really into stories for games, obviously.
Absolutely.
And so because I've been following Street Fighter since 1992 or whatever, I feel like I've grown up with that story, and I just like the fact that Minot is connected to Rose, who's connected to Bison. Like, it's an interesting genealogy, so to speak. You know? Yeah. So it's very cool.
Oh, definitely, that's awesome. So let's see here. So Comatose would like to know, can I be Anakin and kill Padawans at library events in Tekken?
Only if you can restore them to life afterwards. Okay,
bring the Phoenix Downs.
What I mean by that, really, to be real about it, of course, we invite people to come and play fighting games, teach the young ones, what it's about, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm from the arcade era. I know what it's like to come in and get your hopes crushed. I know what that's like.
So you got to give them the talk.
Yeah.
You didn't do bad. You just have to work at it.
Don't go easy on them, but don't make them quit playing the game either. Though, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's a happy medium in there. Like
slice off a leg.
Yeah, beat them down, but also encourage them to keep playing. You know, you got my blessings.
Oh man. Okay. So we have best POC in a fighting game or any video game.
Huh.
And this will be my last question. It is running to the end of the show.
Yeah, no problem. That's very, very... When you say best, do you mean like my favorite or like actually like skill-wise the best? Because to be honest with you, I don't know who is the best like in rankings.
Well, what's your favorite?
If I had to say my favorites, I'm biased. I'm rooting for my locals. I love Green Ranger. I love Wing Zero. I love Palutena. I love Comatose. Like, I'm all about all the locals. Like, I'm a big fan of you guys, and I support you with everything that you do. I'm watching the streams. I'm watching the videos, the interviews. I check you out on Twitter and everything. Like, I'm with you guys 100%. And I hope you guys go all the way, like, for real, like, to the top.
Awesome. Really great stuff. So this will be the closing. So this is the end of the show, and I'd like to thank everybody who showed up. I'd love to thank you. Thank you for being on my show. This was amazing.
Thank you so much.
Again, if you guys cannot make it out to Ground Zero, definitely come back here and check out the stream. My next show, keep an eye out, will be April 25th, and I will have Helena from Cavs Legion. So definitely don't miss that. I'm going to have some great questions. I'm going to have some fun with her as well.
Yeah, check that one out for sure.
Yeah. And if anybody would like to recommend somebody to be on this show, or even yourself, definitely reach out to me. I do need to kind of get the ball rolling, and if I have a lot of submissions, maybe this is something I can do weekly. But definitely reach out to me if you have somebody that you'd like to, call out for me to try to get on the show, or just send them my way. But thanks again for checking out. This is the 1v1. I am Cellamonster. This is Tristan, and
Thank you.
I'll see you on the 25th.
Thank you so much for showing up.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See ya. Peace.
Nailed it. That was fun.
Yeah. Like, you got,